Hello everyone, my name is Jason Broadbent from IP Fabric. Today we're going to talk about troubleshooting. How do we quickly resolve issues in an effective and an efficient way and restore everything back to full health? How do you troubleshoot a host that's just been reported losing connectivity to a server and not all that's been provided to you is with an IP address? As we all know, the network always gets the blame. With IP Fabric, we can quickly identify where and when that change took place. We provide you with a complete, rich, deep set of network data that allows you, the network engineer, to access all that data in one place, make it searchable and visual for you, and without having to refer to out-of-date documentation. IP Fabric's network discovery process quickly establishes the complex environment of all devices, switches, routers, firewalls, and even load balancers. So identifying an IP address can become extremely easy. We're looking for answers and not messages. So if we look for the IP address in question, and quickly we have established all the information associated with that host. We've also identified the location where the host is and identified the VLAN associated with it as well. So now I know its location. Let's quickly look at that location and the environment and see if we can see any problems. So not only do we provide you with the physical connectivity, we also provide the network level model too of the relationships and interactions between those devices. And as this is an interactive diagram, we can start zooming into the VLAN in question. So by highlighting the link and looking for the VLAN that we know is associated to the host, we can now discover whether there's any layer 2 spanning tree issues. And quickly we can see not only the root bridge and the forwarding ports, but we can also see the blocking ports. So by quickly identifying the location where the host is and understanding the layer 2 relationships, we can now visualize that there are no issues within that location. So let's look at the IP address again. Okay, let's look at the host and the path that is taken throughout that location. And as discussed previously, as being an interactive site, we can move the switches around to make this a lot more pleasing on the eye and see the route that the traffic's taken, not only just from the layer 2 perspective, but also from the layer 3 perspective also highlighting the root bridge. And we can quickly see that the traffic from that host to the gateway, and there's no identifying issues. Not only that, we can actually compare and contrast to different snapshots been set previously. So can we look to see if there's any hardware changes? Has there been any devices added or removed within that location? And as we can see, as the color is gray, that means nothing's been added or removed. So from that perspective, we can now look for the bigger picture to see the end-to-end path from that host to that server to see if we can see anything else that makes it easy to identify where that problem is. So by moving to the end-to-end path location, we can now do the search of the source address, the destination address of the server, submit that, and now we have a mapping of the traffic from the host to the source destination, also showing the transit network in the middle. So let's start from the left-hand side. We can zoom in slightly more just to see the traffic. So we can see all the switches involved, and we can also see the layer 3 connection. So as we established before, there's no problems, but at this point we can now start seeing if there's any ACLs that may be inhibiting that traffic. So let's click on the ACL, and as we can see, all that traffic is permitted. All those subnets and destination addresses are permitted. So therefore, no ACLs have been changed. So let's look into the transit network. We can see the ingress and egress ports, and we can actually now start seeing that everything is behaving as intended. And then we get to the remote location where the server is. Let's home into this. And now, because we have identified all the devices within the environment, not only routers and switches, we can establish ACLs, but we can also see firewalls. So now we can see that that firewall is highlighted in red, which means that's where the problem may lie. So let's just click onto the firewall. And again, as the diagrams are interactive, we can quickly get to the data and to start analyzing where the issue may be. So from a forward and traffic perspective, everything's good. We can see that it's all successful, and therefore there's nothing wrong with the layer 2 or layer 3 of the environment. But we can also see within the firewall that a policy has changed, and it's actually denying all that traffic to get to that server. So at some point, very, very recently, a policy has been integrated into the firewall, blocking that information. So as you can see very quickly now, we've identified from the source, from the host to the end server, what the problem is. And now we can relate back to the team that the issue is not the network problem, but the issue is with a policy that has been allocated recently to that site. And we can do comparisons as previously as well. So let's look back in time to see if any changes have been made. And you can see routes have been changed. You can see switches have been removed because they're in green, so that means they were there at one point. So between certain dates, there's been an architectural change within the server site. So now that we've resolved that and we can actually start seeing where the problem is, we can now push this problem to the security team to investigate why they have changed that policy. So from having this rich set of data from our discovery process and having a snapshot solution that allows you to compare and contrast in time, it can allow you the ability to identify where those issues are. I hope this has been useful. I hope this has shown you a little insight into how to troubleshoot problems very simply and very quickly and efficiently. Thank you very much.